It's a bird, it's a plane, it's a disappointing opening weekend. Supergirl has faltered at the box office, testing DC Studios' Reboot, and that's our story today. Warner Brothers was hoping Supergirl would be the second pillar of its rebuilt DC universe. Instead, the film landed with a thud. Over its opening weekend in the United States and Canada, the movie pulled in an estimated $38 million, about 24% below analyst projections that had already been considered disappointing. Those projections had pegged the film at around $50 million. Add another $30 million from overseas, and you're looking at a film that cost $170 million to make, plus tens of millions more in marketing, struggling to find its footing. The reviews didn't help. Rotten Tomatoes gave it a rotten rating, and audiences who did show up graded it a B- in CinemaScore exit polls. That's not exactly the kind of word of mouth that builds legs at the multiplex. Now, to put this in context, the broader box office weekend was actually pretty strong. Theaters in North America were on pace to sell around $153.5 million in tickets total, up 18% from the same weekend last year. Toy Story 5 held the number one spot for its second weekend, collecting an estimated $70 million and pushing its domestic total to nearly $300 million. Supergirl came in second. So it's not that people stayed home, they just didn't choose this movie. Box office analysts pointed to something uncomfortable. Female-led superhero films have struggled almost uniformly over the past 5 years. The Marvels debuted to $46 million in 2023. Madam Web opened to just $15 million in 2024. And before Supergirl even hit theaters, its star Millie Alcock became the target of an online backlash that Warner Brothers executives said surprised them in both its ferocity and reach. They believed, according to the studio, that the culture had moved past that kind of campaign. Despite a massive marketing push, 80 promotional partners, including Kentucky Fried Chicken and American Airlines, the film didn't deliver what the studio most needed, proof that DC Studios had found a sustainable path back to theatrical success. That path has been bumpy. The latest DC overhaul, announced in 2023 under James Gunn and Peter Safran, promised a script-first approach built around quality over volume. And their first swing worked. The Superman reboot last summer earned $619 million globally in strong reviews. Supergirl, directed by Craig Gillespie, was supposed to build on that momentum. Safran said in a statement that while the film didn't meet box office expectations, it's just one component of a broader, long-term strategy that DC Studios remains confident in. And analysts seem to agree it's too early to call this a verdict on the whole operation. The next DC film, Clayface, cost only an estimated $45 million to make and arrives in October. Early buzz on Man of Tomorrow, the next Superman installment, due next summer, is described as promising. On television, DC has also been on a roll, with The Penguin becoming an HBO hit, Creature Commandos earning a quick renewal, and high expectations surrounding Lanterns, which debuts on HBO in August. Film consultant David Gross put it plainly, audiences turned on female superheroes during the pandemic, and Supergirl opened into that same cold environment. The upshot from analysts, this looks more like an isolated stumble than a verdict on DC's broader overhaul, but for Warner Brothers, it's a reminder that rebuilding a superhero franchise is harder than it looks, even when you think you've figured it out. That's the story. Supergirl may not have saved the day, but DC Studios is betting its future on the heroes still waiting in the wings.